My name is Eliot Dean. I was diagnosed when I was 20. I just turned 20 years old. I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
He was 20 years old. What followed were long weeks on a single hospital floor, a window with a good view, and a lot of sunsets.
Second time I was diagnosed, I was almost like 5 years later. I thought, I was out of the woods. I thought things were going good. And I just got like a new doctor and got blood work, and the blood work came back as, looking suspicious of leukemia and, kind of the markers that you would see when someone would have leukemia. So, they had to do the bone marrow biopsy and found out the definitive. I was constricted on the floor. I wasn't able to leave because of the immune system issue. But I like to take walks, and there was a little room that was meant for like the patients that I'd go to often, and there was a very nice view that I go to often around the evenings when there'd be a sunset. Yeah, I would watch movies and just kind of try to keep the time, keep myself busy. I would read. I would anything that could kind of distract you from what you're going through. I think was helpful.
5 years after his first diagnosis, Eliot was living in remission and thought the worst was behind him. He just started seeing a new doctor who ran routine blood work, and then the same markers, the same diagnosis, and a different kind of fear.
I think that the relapse. I think each time your diagnosis hits you, when you're in the thick of it, for me at least, I felt like I was just kind of going through the motions. So it was kind of it wasn't hitting me as bad, but each time you were, I think the initial diagnosis really hit me hard. Once I was in the treatment and I was getting my infusions, I felt like those times weren't as hard because I felt like I knew I was doing something about it. And obviously there was the stem cell transplant on the table, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that because there was you read a lot of stuff and you start getting into numbers and stuff, what percentage of people make it through. The not known part was tough. I'm sure my doctors all understood why I was probably giving them such a hard time, because I wanted to know what was going on, and I'm an adult. This is I understand a little more than what you would say a 5-year-old would understand. So what gave me hope was obviously my family gave me a lot of hope. Obviously, you want to finish treatment. You want to get that done and over with. But then it's you start remembering the things that you wanted to do. And, life starts to take its course, again. So it's when you were in treatment, it felt you could just put those things on the back burner. And then, once you're finished in treatment, you're like, all right, well, where do I start? And I feel but yeah, finishing treatment is great. Ringing that bell after getting my stem cell transplant and the second time around, was amazing. But yeah, it's just difficult to also make that transition.
What most people don't know about Eliot Dean and THON is that he knew it before he needed it. His older sister attended Penn State. As a child, Eliot helped her collect donations on the street.
My older sister came to Penn State, and she was part of she attended THON, and when I was really young, I actually was able to help her canning, because they used to go on the street canning. Yeah, my sister was a part of THON, so I knew about THON from a very early age. And when I got diagnosed and when I went to Hershey, I wasn't expecting them to, I wasn't expecting THON to be such a big part of my life. But my first week there, actually, they were there. They brought me like a blanket and just goodie bag, and so right from the beginning they were very supportive. And I just took a trip to Costa Rica. I've been wanting to do that for so long, just go do the things that you want. You don't know if you'll have time. You don't know what tomorrow will bring. I need to be easier on myself and to realize that you have a whole life ahead of you. So just take it day by day, and don't be scared.
Eliot shares his story with Life on Pause, supported by 4 Diamonds and Penn State Health, a community where young adults living with cancer can ask hard questions, find their people, and remember that the not knowing part doesn't have to be faced alone. He came to THON as a child, helping his sister collect donations on a street corner. He came back as a patient and found the same organization waiting for him, with a blanket, a goodie bag, and people who never made themselves hard to reach. That's what 4 Diamonds does. That's what the community is. Life paused. His brother gave him new cells. A bell rang, and somewhere in all of that, the cup filled back up.